Love Witch. Now, I first saw this movie about a year ago. And when I watched it, I stuck with it for about maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And then afterwards, I turned it off because I wanted to read a little bit more about the director who made this movie first. Because when I first saw it, my thoughts were, this must be some undiscovered classic from the 70s that I have somehow overlooked. And I went back and I thought maybe that this movie was going to be maybe some kind of an undiscovered classic from Stephanie Rothman, who directed The Velvet Vampire. Or for that matter, even at the very beginning of the movie, when you see the main character, the character Elaine, who is played by Samantha Robinson, when you see her driving down, tell me that doesn't look like a scene from Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. So I really thought that this was a movie that came from decades ago, but it turned out it was not. This is a movie that came out back in 2019. It was directed by Anna Biller, who also has another movie out there on Amazon Prime called Viva that I might talk about on another show. She shot this movie on film. She has not succumbed yet to the lure of videotape. A lot of attention has been made to the texture, the color quality, and when you look at this, like I said, it does have that look of an undiscovered classic. And the movie follows, of course, Elaine as she's leaving her small town, and we get the feeling that whatever she's running from, if indeed she is running from anything, has to do with a past relationship she had where, well, her boyfriend just up and died on her. Could have been a heart attack, who knows what. She arrives at Eureka, California, and she checks into this house. Looks like a nice little B&B where the owner of the house, the landlord, played by Laura Waddell, kind of apologizes for the room because the person who occupied the room was a practitioner of Wiccan and has the room all decorated with paintings and stuff reflecting that. But of course Elaine says, no, this is perfect. The landlord takes her out for dinner, and of course Elaine tells her that her way of dealing with men is simply to give men what they want. And if they want a little loving, a little, sex, whatever, just give it to them. And of course, this kind of disturbs the landlord because she says, aren't you giving the patriarchy everything that they want? Well, as we follow through and we realize that just about all of her relationships have ended with the death of the male, we do hear her make the statement that it's her job to get the man to love her, and then once the man loves her, she can do whatever she wants. And it seems that once the man does succumb to her and she has no more need for the man, out he goes for some strange reason. Would it be murder? Would it be a spell? Whatnot? Finally, she meets this one fellow whose name happens to be Wayne. My name has a D at the beginning, by the way. But she takes him up, and of course they have their own good time there. And he succumbs to the Grim Reaper as well. And this part of the movie doesn't quite make sense to me when I saw this. I've now seen this movie 3 times, and really it's the quality of the film that keeps drawing me back to that. But she goes out, she buries him in the backyard, and she does her little witchcraft conjuring thing, and doesn't clean up after herself. And this is what on the third viewing kind of makes me scratch my head, because this is what drags the police inspector to eventually confront her. Of course, she does strike up a relationship with the police inspector, and I won't tell you what happens after that, but that would be giving it away. But, the movie is more than just its plot. Both the movies that Anna Biller made, Viva as well as The Love Witch, have great musical soundtracks. And there's usually at least one point on there where you have a balladeer or somebody on a guitar singing a very playful melody. This was a movie that I would definitely recommend. Now, back when I used to live in Los Angeles, I did know some people who were practitioners of the Wiccan religion. They would hate movies like this. They didn't even like Bewitched. What they didn't like was the whole misinterpretation of witchcraft as being a type of Satanism. And they didn't like that at all. In fact, anything that has a goat in it somehow was misinterpreted by Christians to be satanic. And they didn't particularly like that, and I don't think that any true practitioner of Wiccan would probably be gravitated to this movie, but everyone else, go for it. I mean, I did enjoy watching this movie. It is a movie that just keeps giving back the more and more you watch it. And now I'm thinking, well, maybe the reason she didn't clean up after herself out of burying that guy was maybe she wanted the detective to come to her. After all, her very first spell when she moved into the house was, give me a man, give me a man. And like Charles Bukowski has written, find what you love and let it kill you. But in her case, it's in reverse. Now my next movie, Terribilium, which was shot and edited by Larry Wessel over a period of years when he would go down to Tijuana and videotape the bullfights. Well, in Larry Wessel's movie, Terribilium, this world does not exist anymore at all. This is a world that's totally gone. The type of bullfighting that you see in this movie no longer exists, mainly because of animal rights activists. And when you see the movie, you can understand why. Because when we read stories like maybe by Ernest Hemingway about bullfighters, or we see music videos like Madonna made that has a bullfighter in it, we just see the nice parts. We see them prancing around in their little get-ups there and jumping around, dodging the bull. We see the great works of art, the paintings that have gone on through the years about bullfighting, but we really don't get to the fact that it truly is a blood sport. And Larry Wessel's movie does show that and does remind us of that. And when you see this movie, it's from start to finish, you see the people gathering in the ring, you see the mariachis getting their instruments together, you see that it's a family affair, the adults, they bring their children, you see the snacks that they get over at the bullfight ring, like little meat things on sticks. And then of course the bullfight begins and we follow everything to its bloody conclusion. But then even after the fight ends, Larry takes us backstage and you see that the bulls that didn't survive, and let's face it, the bulls ultimately lose, but maybe they might take a few of the bullfighters with them, and that has happened. Bullfighters have been gored, they've been attacked. You do see bullfighters being pulled off the ring. So occasionally it's like the bull might be thinking, okay, you might be taking me down, but I'm going to take you down with me. Well, at the end of this, you see the carcasses being brought to the back and then gutted. And then suddenly they're made into steaks and hamburgers, whatnot. You see people eating back there. Some people might take some of the meat home to cook later. So it's not a total waste. I don't know. Would you prefer the food that you're eating right now be coming from an animal that fought for its survival? Or would you prefer a food that has been brain dead, that has been force-fed so many chemicals and then maybe just got an electroshock to the head? Yet would you prefer your food to be peaceably put to sleep before you devour it? Or would you rather see your food fight to the death before you devour it? Something I always wanted to do with this movie that I never really got a chance to was take it to a steakhouse and show it on a big screen projector as everybody's eating their meat, their New York steak, what have you, their prime rib, and they're watching their meal basically fight to the death. And let's see how many people in that steakhouse are honest enough to watch that while eating their meat, and let's see how many turn into vegetarians. The thing about this movie though is you can see I'm holding up a video copy of it. And if you want to get this movie, you're going to have to go to Larry Wessel's website, which is at wesselmania.net, 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 and you can order it directly from him. Thank you for watching Pop Culture Paradox, and if you liked what you see, please subscribe to this channel and like this video and come back for more.